to the Asbury Park Candidates Forum, moderated by the League of Women Voters and hosted by Asbury Park City Council. Can you hear me okay? Yes.
Yeah.
City Council candidate Jesse Kendle could not be here, so by protocol, unfortunately, Angela Ahbez-Anderson is not permitted to participate as the single candidate for City Council, although she's here tonight. The Coaster reporter Carol Gorga-Williams, who is also not able to be present. So we have welcome Dan Harris, Nina Summerlin, and Ann Torrey, League of Women Voters moderators. And I'd like to introduce Ann right now. Carry on.
All right. Thank you, Holly, and thanks to Asbury Park Complete Streets for organizing tonight's forum. As Holly noted, I'm a moderator from the League of Women Voters in Monmouth County. The League is a nonpartisan organization dedicated to strengthening democracy by protecting the right to vote and empowering voters. And that's what we're doing tonight. In this election, you will be electing a member of the U.S. House of Representatives, 2 Monmouth County Commissioners, County Sheriff, and closer to home, you'll be electing your Asbury Park Mayor and 1 member of the City Council. Before we get into introducing the candidates and my co-moderators here, I want to just go over the format with the audience, with you, the audience, so you know how it's going to work. We'll start with candidate opening statements. Did we lose Felicia?
Yeah,
She's here.
Oh, she's here. Okay, good. Candidate opening statements will each be limited to 2 minutes. Then we'll move on to questions. You've submitted really excellent questions online and some tonight. We will not get to all of them, but we expect to have a good, robust question and answer period. The candidates will each have a minute to respond to questions. After questions, candidates will give closing statements. Those are also a minute. Let's see, you see we have a timekeeper in the front row, Nancy, who will, when the candidates have 30 seconds left, she'll hold up a yellow card. It's not very sophisticated, but it works. When candidates' time is up, she holds up a red card that says stop. Candidates, when you see the red card, finish your thought, finish your sentence as quickly as possible. Respecting the time limits keeps the forum fair. Let's see, other ground rules for the audience. As always, please silence your cell phones. Photos and recording by the audience is not permitted tonight. I think we have Asbury Park TV here recording, and that'll be available after the forum. And we also ask you to hold any comments or any applause to the end of the evening. We'll hear from everybody, and then we'll give them a rousing round of applause. Tonight we are down to 2 candidates for mayor. Sonja Mack could not be here, and one of the council candidates could not be here. And the League of Women Voters, since there are only 2 candidates for council, when we're left with 1, we cannot moderate a forum like that. That's against our rules, as Polly mentioned. So unfortunately, we will not be able to hear from Angela Ahbez-Anderson tonight. Let's see. Again, since we're down to, we have a nice audience here and only 2 candidates, we can be a little less formal. We're trying out kind of a different format. I have Nina Summerlin from the West Side Citizens Unite and Daniel Harris from the Second Baptist Church. They're going to be asking the questions. I'll call on them. They'll ask their question. I'll call on the candidates, and we'll alternate and kind of mix it up when we get to that. So bear with us. We haven't practiced, so we're going to see how this goes. Let's get started. We have 2 candidates here, Felicia Simmons and John Moor, both running for mayor. You will be electing one of the candidates for mayor to a 4-year term this November. So opening statements, we already drew for opening statements, and Felicia is going to go first, followed by John. So if you're ready, timer, yes? Mm-hmm. Then, and Felicia, you're ready? Take it away. You're opening statement.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, League of Women Voters, West Side, and Second Baptist for having me this evening. If anyone who knows me know I can be long-winded, but that won't be me tonight. I am a two-time elected to the Board of Education mayoral candidate this year because I feel that it is time for a plan and to not sit back on my laurels. I was told a long time ago not to call myself a troublemaker, but a problem solver. And for the last decade and almost decade and a half, that's what I feel that I have been doing. I'm a mother of a wonderful, almost 20-year-old son. I am a parent right now of a 3-year-old wonderful child and a 6-year-old. I take it my responsibility to be a steward of this community. I come with a direct plan on infrastructure, on finances, on taking our city to the 2000s and beyond. Again, I'm going to keep it short because I'm pretty sure that the questions that you have for me tonight will get to the direct solutions, and I have direct answers for you. So again, thank you and have a great night. I'm ready for the debate.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Moore, John, do you want to?
Okay, yes, good evening, everybody, and thank you for being here. My name is John Moore, M-O-O-R, no A, everybody puts an E on it. My great-grandfather moved to Asbury Park in 1888. My grandparents and parents both all graduated from Asbury Park High School. Two of my sisters went to Asbury Park High School. I went to Ocean Township High School. But in the 60s, there was no mom and calling thing. We wanted a job, we worked on the Asbury Park boardwalk. So that's where I started off my journey with Asbury Park when I was 13 years old. I worked there. I've been in the city basically my entire life except college years, and a couple of years I lived in Jacksonville, Florida. I worked for the city for 31 years. Started off as a code inspector, asked for a demotion to be a laborer, retired as deputy director of DPW. I was on the Board of Education from 88 to 2000. I was a commissioner and vice chair of the Asbury Park Housing Authority. I always believed, my parents instilled in me and my two sisters that the city you live in, you should give back to. So I've always tried to give back to the city, and that's basically my introduction. I'm like Felicia, like I'm sure the questions will get more into depth as far as issues and everything like that, but that's basically who John Moore is. And I enjoy the city and enjoy trying to do the best for the city. That's all we can do. I'm sure Felicia agrees.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll start with Nina. We'll ask the first question. Okay, we're going to ask, Dan is going to ask the first question.
Okay, we have a lot of issues with blue on black crime in Asbury Park. So I wanted to know, are you in favor to require police to pay for their own legal counsel once they've been actually charged with assaulting citizens of Asbury Park on multiple occasions?
All right, yeah, let's start with Mr. Moore.
Okay, if it's legal, absolutely yes. I'm not sure if it's legal or not legal. It's legal. Okay, well, you know, because you were part of it, the city a couple of years ago had an equity committee where we looked into what was going on. I think that came out very well. And we were looking to do a citizens review board, and that process has already started. The problem with it is the Supreme Court of New Jersey said subpoena powers and basically CRBs are illegal at this point in time. But that council with others are still looking into this with representatives from all groups, and because when it is legal, I'm in favor of a citizens review board to look at all problems in the police department.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Simmons?
Yes, I am. I am for taking back their immunity and the police immunity and holding them responsible. Looking into CTRB's subpoena power is not legal, but the citizen review board is legal. I've sat with the Attorney General. I've also advocated for police licensing, which will actually help get to the point of that also. licensing of the police, which is just coming to effect as we rolled in. I'll try to be brief. It will help with getting directly to the people because they are supposed to be advocates of us. We are not supposed to be their advocates. They're supposed to be protect us. So it gets right to the bottom of it and put people first, community first, with real answers and solutions.
Okay, thank you. Rita, your age?
Would you support convening the city of Asbury Park, the school district, and the housing authority to work together for the betterment of the community?
So,
Do you want to start with you this time?
yes, I'm completely for it. When I was on the Board of Education, I went to the city, specifically joining, helping and sharing services in that part will help actually bring taxes down and also bring us support to the community. When you have the parents, the community, the city all working together as one entity, then it brings a sense of I'll save myself kind of mentality. It helps with, it brings up, it fosters a community. When you have parents in the school, the children are not used to acting in an outward way, but you also get an understanding on how the school district runs. You get an understanding on where you can cut funds. You get an understanding on how you can run out a complete community where it's not just we're sitting back looking at these separate entities. The housing authority, the school district, the city are all Asbury Park. There are specific forms of Asbury Park that need to be addressed together.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Moore?
Absolutely, and this question came up at the recent Board of Education debate, and so I looked at it, and I kind of said to myself, geez, John, you might have known this in the past. We have tried to meet with separate entities at different times, usually around budgets and stuff like that, which is wrong. I think I'll give my pledge, if reelected, I will be the mayor, lead the mandated meeting between the three entities because we're going to sink or swim together. And then I would see that would probably be maybe semi-annual. And then after that, we should have a community meeting, probably in the high school, somewhere with the biggest, with all three entities at the table, and then listen to the say what we did, and then listen to the feedback from the community. Well, how about this? How about that? So it's a great idea. Hasn't been done enough. It's been tried. When Felicia brought it to council, I wasn't on council, so but yes, that needs to be done. All three have to work together.
Back to Dan.
Okay, constantly hear about shootings on the west side. Let's hear about some of the things that happened in the beachfront area. I wanted to know, are you in favor of us having a weekend court to deal with those who come into Asbury Park to disrupt things on the beach in the downtown area? Or from run Friday night to Sunday morning?
Let's start with Mr. Moore.
Okay, what type of court?
Weekend court, hire them.
Weekend.
Weekend.
Bring them in. And let people to tear the city on the weekend.
Whenever there's been problems in the summertime, the beachfront or the downtown area, we put on extra police, and any bar establishment, if they have a bad record, they, by statute, the city council have to hire extra security, extra policemen. So I would have to look into, like, I know it works in some towns, I know it works in Philadelphia, I don't know if it would work in Asbury Park, but if it's something that would work, I would be considerate, absolutely. But I don't think any crime is being hidden on the east side. And, you know, there's a lot of young people that are just getting out of whack at Gorga or the other bars, and we asked the judge to throw the book out. And so, you know, all crime should be dealt fairly across the board with equal punishment for all sides of town.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Simmons.
Yes, I am in support of a weekend judge and the way we mandate some of the beachfront to hopefully pay for the extra police in town. We can mandate to pay for the judge. We have a severe issue with the Tale of Two Cities. Most people didn't know about the police and what is it? It was a slight fight between residents from the bar until we see it on YouTube or Channel 12. Right? I wasn't aware, and I live in town, and I feel that I'm up on things. We need to hold everybody accountable because it feels, the weight feels like it sits on the west. And when we have to shift the tale of two cities to a tale of one city, where everybody feels equally persecuted and equally justice. So again, we have to make sure that we're safe, and that the safety of the whole city is addressed at once. So yes, I am for a poll.
Thank you. And Lena?
What are your ideas of improving public safety in our city, especially the gun violence on the west side?
I guess since he went first last time.
No? Okay.
Well, I can go first.
You can go first, yes.
This time, first is we addressed the Eye in the Sky grant that we received a few years ago. It will fix the cameras. We have a unique place here in Asbury Park where pretty much the whole city is lined with a fiber that supports cameras and Wi-Fi. And so we have to fix the cameras because we had a shooting recently in front of the camera, and the camera was broken. That is, I believe, the first thing that should be addressed. The second is we have to have a shift in our policing. When I say a shift in the policing, I mean walking, talking, conversating, right? Personalities, not a more occupied, but a more part of the community policing. It shouldn't be that on one side, one feels safe to walk and to be have a great time, and on the other side, people are scared to leave their households. We have to truly address it.
Okay, thank you, and Mr. Moore.
Yes, I believe in community police. I believe we should get more officers onto the streets. I believe there's too many officers in City Hall and the police department that aren't on the streets. So try to push to get, like, we could hire civilians to do records and other jobs that police officers are there, and get more police officers on the street. I also believe in the community policing, where they should be walking the beat, not driving a beat at 40 miles an hour with blinkers on going down the street. You got to know the community, you got to talk to the community, you got to want to reach out to the community, and the community then will have some love back to the police, which is needed. I also believe that we've done a good job. So every now and then the camera goes down. We add cameras all the time. Adding shot spotter has been great to Asbury Park and Neptune, where it triangulates where a shot's been fired, and within 30 seconds, a police car can be there. So that was a big addition that, the prosecutor wanted, the city funded, Neptune funded. So better community policing, more streets on the beat, and more police walk on the beat.
Okay, thank you. And I think we're with Dan. Another question.
Okay, talk about housing development and gentrification. How do you plan to help older citizens who are suffering from rising property taxes, even after they pay for their houses? The taxes are actually forcing them out of the city.
I think we'll start with Mr. Moore.
Okay, well, one thing that the city did as far as taxes, the municipal tax rate, in the past, I'm just going past 4 years. I'm not going to go back past 8 years, but the past 4 years, the levy for the municipal tax rate has dropped $1.3 million. So we've been able to add more social workers, more $100,000 more for recreation this year, the participatory budget for $250,000, standard raises for all unions, increased benefits by state mandate, which are ridiculous, where the health benefits are going to go up 20% this year. So, it's I think we're funding everything as much as possible. It's just like getting to the finish line and crossing the finish line.
Thank you. And Ms. Simmons?
I think the question was how do we keep seniors in housing?
Let seniors hold on to their housing
So
as their taxes go
plus
up.
the taxes is first, I would opt into the pilot program where we assess every year. But we're already in it, so I wouldn't opt into it. I would opt into actually promoting the property freeze, where seniors can literally get their taxes if you fall into the criteria. Get the property tax freeze component, which is an underutilized component used in this town. Then also there are equity funds, especially through the coronavirus, the ARP, where we can do a stabilizing, a one-time treatment where we stabilize just for this year, or at least, well, from this year to 2024, to where we address. But we really truly have to get to the addressing of the assessment of properties every year. That the assessment of properties every year only benefit people planning to flip their house, not people planning to stay in their house and make a community. So we have to be places like previously, like New Jersey City, they didn't assess their properties for 20 years. Stop.
All right, thank you. Back to Nina.
What steps can the city take to reduce homelessness within Asbury Park?
I guess not.
I think yes, I'm sorry.
First is what we did. John adapted a piece, and the community pushed a piece is rent control, rent stabilization. Right, we have a huge issue here with underdevelopment and overpricing of property. This is something that will stabilize the hemorrhaging of the community. We have people working 40 hours plus a week that are living in their cars, right, or living on someone's couch because they literally can't afford an apartment that, say, 4 years ago was $800, now it's $2,400. I get calls all the time where people are regulating prices and they're going up $400 in one rock, right? Where are we, what kind of city are we promoting to be, right? So first, we can't regulate certain things, but we can go with where we can regulate, where we can go into the weeds where every property here that's a renter, a city of renters of 80%, we have to address these issues. We have to be on the board.
Okay, and Mr. Moore.
Could you repeat the question, please?
What steps can the city take to reduce homelessness within Asbury Park?
Okay. What we're doing is we've expanded our social services department. We have a homeless problem because we're one of the few towns that has a social services department, where every other town has homeless and they send them to Asbury Park. We met with one agency, I'm not going to say who they are, where so far this year we've had 180 police calls to their facility about homeless people. So we're addressing it by adding social service workers, and we're addressing it by reaching out to the county, reaching out to the state, where, hey, you gotta look at some of these laws and help us, because Freehold, you're the Monmouth County Health Department, but you're giving those services to Asbury Park or other towns, and anybody being released from the hospitals or being sent to Asbury Park. So it's a tough question that we're on top of, but we're getting very little help from people above us, but we're not giving up. We're going to keep on, like, you know, hammering on freeholders' doors, hammering on the Sunday people and senators' doors. Asbury Park needs help. We're the only town in the county that has social services department.
Okay, thank you. We'll go back to Dan for a question. We'll start with Mr. Moore.
What are your plans to make sure that affordable housing that is built on the waterfront and developed area are available to middle income people?
Affordable housing on the waterfront, in the prime waterfront redevelopment area, it is not able to be done because of the signed agreement from 2002, where instead of them doing affordable housing, the mayor and council at that time said, when you hit 300 units, give us $1 million. When you hit 600 units, give us $1 million. When you hit 900 units, give us $1 million, et cetera, et cetera. So, and that was their affordable housing obligation. Now, that's a signed contract that we've been trying to figure out how to get out of. And if somebody's in here that's a better lawyer than our redevelopment lawyer, we're open to any and all suggestions. How do you unilaterally break a contract? Everybody in this room has a deed, a mortgage, everything. You know, you just can't unilaterally say, I'm not going to pay my mortgage anymore. So you can't break a contract unless both sides are willing to. And right now, the other side is not willing to redo that contract.
Thank you, and Ms. Simmons.
So we go back to, this is a question that's been floating around a long time, especially when we were doing inclusionary zoning and talking. But we spoke to, I believe it's Fishburne, and he's quoted in the Asbury Park Press and in the Star Ledger saying that he was never asked about affordable housing on the beach. So first we have to have the ask. We are not, when they sign the contract, I believe they're in an impoverished mindset. that they were just happy to have someone come into town. Well, me being a lifer here, I already knew the value of Asbury Park. So we have to get out of that impoverished mindset and hold people to the fire, right? They received tons of abatements, 30-year tax abatements, this kind of abatement, this kind of deal. And we were saying, okay, if you're gonna get these kind of deals, then you can have to give something back directly to the community. Like just recently when I was watching the city, and the 48 townhouses that they're putting on Bradley Cove, right, that they're building, the city had to give $10,000 to. We could ask for housing instead, so has this house, so I can go on and on. But again, it's we have because we don't ask. We don't ask because we don't ask.
Next question will be from Nina, and we'll start with Felicia Simmons.
What would you propose to do as mayor or council member? Again, doing the thing about 2 minutes. About aggressive driving in Asbury Park.
Just sitting back and actually those Polly and actually sitting in the meeting that we had the other day, living here on the streets. It's first advertised that we are under surveillance, and then second, maybe put up some of these zonings, but promote a culture of biking. Fix the infrastructure in the streets, right? Put up tons of signage throughout the entire town, right? Go over a full plan of transportation and sidewalks and throughout the entire community. It has to be addressed. I see it doing in spot pieces. And I know for a fact that there are millions of dollars to do a complete plan. And just push I'm looking for the word, but I'm just push the agenda that we are a safe biking, community-friendly city. I'm from Asbury, I walk in the street, right? I shouldn't be scared that the car is gonna whip around the corner and take me out.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Moore.
Yes, speeding and reckless driving in Asbury Park is citywide. It's not just one area. I believe, again, it should be zero tolerance. It should be like Allenhurst, you're going 26 miles an hour, you're going to get pulled over, you're going to get a ticket, no warnings. I think we're too lenient as far as warnings. As far as applying for grants to help with Ollie and other people, we've applied for many grants. The past council meeting, we okayed a $680,000 grant for Asbury Avenue Bikeway project and a $455,000 project for the intersection at Sheffield's and the middle school to upgrade those intersections for safe routes to schools and everything. So any grant out there, we're actively looking for. The 3rd and 4th Avenue, they started off with roundabouts, but they weren't roundabouts as you picture roundabouts, they were painted in the middle of the street. So that's being redone, and I think people will like the compromise this year. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go back to a question from Dan, and we'll start with
So I want to piggyback on Ms. Leah's question in reference to aggressive driving in Asbury. How do we deal with it? How does the council, working with the police department, the public safety director or the chief of police, plan to deal with young men doing donuts in the middle of the street right now and burning out, and every time the street gets repaved, we see tire marks there. How can we get funding to put more speed bumps in Asbury Park, especially on the west side where people just recklessly drive all the time?
Okay, like I said before, I think it's an issue throughout the entire town. And speed bumps aren't that expensive, but I think part of the problem is we talk about it here, then it gets lost with other things, maybe bigger, but it's an important thing. So I think the more people that complain, it's like anything else, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So the more complaints we get, the quicker we are. Everybody says, well, we got the rubber speed bumps on 3rd and 4th, and we take them up in the winter time. To me, that's totally ridiculous. When Neptune has the macadam ones, they're there 12 months a year, but Asbury Park can't figure out how to do that, which again, we set policy, day-to-day decisions, but again, so hopefully 2 other council people will agree with me. Let's start putting down real speed bumps. We have the trailers with the radar. Unfortunately, you can't give a ticket out with traffic lights in New Jersey, rule that illegal. I wish they would bring that back so we could give out tickets with the cameras that we have.
Thank you. Ms. Simmons?
The answer to that question is twofold. So I'm gonna try to be quick. First, the reason why the kids are filling out in the streets because they have nothing to do. In the midst of that is the traffic in the midst is promoting the culture. If we have a cop that they know is on the community cops and community things, then we address those different components. But also we have to promote city again of safety of the entirety, right? I've been looking for a speed bump on Summerfield Avenue, the street behind Thames Avenue, where the school is. For the last few years, I've been in front of the mayor and asked for speed bumps because children play, right? In all these spaces where you ask, these are where children play. They're on the streets, so it should be a priority. We are neglecting half of the city in the midst of this development, and we cannot afford to because we lose lives that way. We run into corners. I have to stop. But again, I'll try to be less winded.
You're doing fine. Nina will ask the next question, you'll have another chance to talk.
What are your ideas for providing our children with a safe place to play and learn after school, since we don't have a community center?
Oh, well, that's great. It's great that I start with that question because I just became the president of the West Side Community Center, which is literally been a few weeks, and which is in need of some help. Again, you can track the violence. We being from here, track the violence for when it's become out of play. Where there's no place for the children to go. There's no place for the after-school programs. There's no place to congregate. There's no place to play basketball. There's no place to be. And as a person who grew up there, finding religion there, enjoyed after school and teaching ballet and computers, that is needed. And as I become mayor, I'm going to hopefully even if I don't, pour funds directly into that, so we have that space. It is needed. It's needed specifically for the whole city, but specifically for the West Side part of the city.
Thank you, and Mr. Moore.
Right, there's a couple of ways we can address this. Pine Street on the east side shuts down Pine Street between 3rd and 2nd every Friday, and then the kids play. So another street on the northeast, southwest side, we're asked to do the same thing, we would do that. Like I say, we added $100,000 this year to the city's recreation department to do more things, be it at the Boys and Girls Club, which is an excellent facility, but we do need, I'm glad Westside Community Center is coming back, I hope it does. The city will totally support that. Boys and Girls Club does a great thing. We run an excellent summer recreation program between the city and the school. The school takes the children in the morning, and then the afternoon is recreation. So that's an excellent program, probably the best in the county, if not one of the best in the state. But again, if there's another street someplace in the city like Pine Street where a group of parents want to get together and say, hey, can we shut down this street every Friday so children can play, we will do that right away. Again, hopefully Westside Community Center will be back. It's totally needed. Anything the city can do to help with that, all 5 are looking forward to that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dan will ask the next question to Mr. Moore.
Okay, talking about public space, city parks. How do we propose to make those public spaces safer for our children? We can say we want to open up an area for them to play, but how can we make those areas safer? I would hate to see a child playing and they get off the trail and shot.
Well, I've never heard of any incidents in any of the city parks, be it Springwood Park or Sunset Park or any of the parks where we've had any problems so far. Not one with it, so I don't jinx it. As far as public spaces with the street, when they shut it down, they have 2 police officers there. So again, shutting down the street is done with police officer at each end. So no cars can go barreling through, so no children are put at jeopardy. You know, anything could happen in any place. We've seen that in too many cities, starting off with like Connecticut and going down to Texas and everything. The shooting could happen at any time, any place. There's just too many guns on the streets, and everything's just got to be stopped. And again, that's more at the state and federal level, where they have to look into gun control and look at some of the laws they passed recently in the state of New Jersey and see if they actually working. Where now you cannot, if you arrest somebody for anything, they're out the next day.
Ms. Simmons?
Can you repeat the whole question again? Because it's an important question that I want to listen to.
Okay, you talk about putting our young people in public spaces to play. I'm all for that. And I respect the fact that, Mr. Moore, you talk about police being in these areas, but I've never seen the police be over by the public, shower that the kids have, a water park. You know, they're just out there playing, so how do we propose to keep everybody safe throughout the entire city when they're put into public spaces?
Again, that's I think I got the whole question. So the answer to that question is, again, attention on having real community policing and real community. Something great that happened a couple years ago where we didn't have the policing that we needed at the basketball courts, and we had issues. And there was a shooting over there and a shooting across the street from Springwood Park a few times. We had men show up and take turns on the court to watch the children and watch the community. I think that's an important body, right? That team with the policing community, the de-escalation training that the Attorney General was so graciously that specifically asked Asbury Park to take part in, right? De-escalating training that's coming through different organizations in town are specifically needed to have a community infused police department. And also just having friends like the state trooper, chief of police who have programs that actually can bring into the community to keep our kids safe in our community, tap into the big picture.
Yes, thank you. Nina, you want to do the next question and start with Ms. Simmons?
Where do you see opportunities to reduce bureau costs and taxes?
That is a great, we have so many joints or triple services. So you're saying specifically in the city, going back to the fact that we have a school and a housing department, so policing and training and security. Then we can also go with costs from our DW, right, where he used to work. We have a great department there, but we also have, like the city, we do the same shadow in the housing authority, we do the same shadow in the school department. There are tons of fat in the city and opportunities for grants that we do not apply for. We are the only urban seat in Monmouth County. Asbury Park in its entirety is the only urban seat in Monmouth County. I mean, any federal dollar for any urban initiative has to come. If it comes, it has to come through Asbury Park. So, and that means that we are not an empowered city. What we are is a city that doesn't have a full out plan.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Moore?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Where do you see opportunities to reduce bureau costs and taxes?
City costs, sorry.
City costs. Well, like I said, we reduced the tax levy, municipal tax levy in 2019 from $16,950,000 to 2022 to $15,619,000, which is a $1.331 million reduction, which is 8%, which is unheard of in most towns, and that was adding everything to it. I disagree with Felicia's that Asbury Park's the only urban city. I sit on the Urban Mayors Committee. Asbury Park is an urban city, so is Neptune and so is Long Branch. And those two towns are never on the calls. And I learned a lot from the Mayor of Newark, the Mayor of Harrison, the Mayor of Camden, and everything. And we have monthly calls with the governor's office and everything. We do learn a lot there. But continue to reduce the tax rate. Eventually, the city's been tightened about because of the terrible S2 law that the Board of Education is stuck with. So we've been tightening our belt as much as possible, but one day that belt may not be able to be tightened too much more. So we have to get a change from our legislators on the S2 bill, which is killing the school system.
Okay, thank you. Dan, another question?
Yeah.
We'll have a few more, a little more.
Please expound upon your experience with large budgets and fiscal responsibility in our city.
I didn't hear you.
Expound on your experience with large budgets and fiscal responsibility in our city. Wasting money.
Expand on how you are fiscally responsible.
Well, I think, again, I think I said 3 times, we've been able to reduce the tax levy by $1.3 million over 4 years, the municipal tax levy, and still add a participatory budget this year for $250,000, $100,000 for recreation, many other new programs. Last year we hired another social worker to help the police department. So when there's a police call, it's not just the police department going out, there's a social worker, Reasia, who goes out. We increased departments that needed to be increased, be it code, be it social services to hit the needs. We're working with preferred behavioral health through the social services department. We reach out to fulfill to help with things. We've given our money to Habitat to fix houses, and we give money to CARC, C-A-R-C, to help people with their rents, with their utility bills, and with all their payments needed to survive.
Okay, thank you. Simmons?
So fiscally responsible. I haven't been on the council yet, hopefully soon. But when I was on the Board of Education, at the time in which I came on, we talked about how big our budget was and how big our legal department was and our policies and deficiencies. And along with other board members, in those years that we were there, our budget came down significantly, over $1 million. I remember in a specific meeting, we cut a budget and cut an unneeded position that had no teacher contact time, had no student contact time, but yet in that specific meeting, that position was over $700,000. So just having that kind of tooth and comb kind of policy, right? And attention to the budget, real attention to the budget, which is the needs assessment of the community compared to the needs assessment of administration. We are severely administrative heavy in all parts of the city. And we have to make sure that we are very fiscally responsible in that way to address it.
Okay, thank you. We're back, I think, to Nina, and starting with Simmons.
What do you see as the biggest challenge facing Asbury Park now, and how would you address it?
I thought you said-
I'm about to take a sip.
You usually jump right in, so.
I usually do. Let's try to get one. But I feel the biggest is lack of equity and accountability. When you have a lack of equity, when you don't see value in every part of the city and every person in the city, you can't really see the needs of the people in the city. So you can't truly address it. So we can talk about the violence, right, which is huge. We can talk about the lack of economy here, which is huge. We can talk about the lack of housing, which is gigantic, right? We can talk about all those things, but it all goes down to the lack of equity that we have with every resident of the city. We have to pay attention to the residents here and the needs of the residents of the community as a whole before we can address any of these specific needs. Right? We don't see that homeless person across the street. We don't see that person who's working 3 jobs. We don't see that person who is just trying to make it from day to day. And we don't give them value. Right? Every person in every part of the city has value.
Thank you, Mr. Moore.
Okay, Asbury Park right now is facing many challenges, some of them minute compared to others. We have to build a new firehouse, that's a definite, and that's gonna be very costly. We have problems at the sewer plant that are gonna be costly. We need to continue to address affordable housing, we need to continue to address workforce development, we need to continue to address the opioid epidemic, which is terrible, that's not in Asbury Park, county, state, country. But the most important thing to me right now is the violence in the city. And we have to address that violence through our own policing, and then again, we still have to reach out to the county and the state, because personally, I think some of the laws that the state put in are too lenient, and like there's, somebody could have 20 warrants, but as long as they're under $400, they cannot be stopped or let go. So maybe these policies are working, maybe they're not, but I think they should be revisited to see if the police have enough fuel behind them to stop some of the violence.
Okay, thank you. We're kind of coming to the end. I think this will be the last question from Dan. We'll start with Mr. Moore.
Okay. Why are you running for mayor?
Why am I running for mayor again? I love this city. I love every aspect of the city. Anybody who knows me will say, everybody in this room will say, they've seen John on the east, north, south, west side. John doesn't duck a meeting. John doesn't. You never have to guess where John Moore's coming from. I tell you how I feel. You can disagree with me, and I know I've made some mistakes throughout the course, which I think every government, be it city, state, federal, going back to Roman times, Greek, I don't know one government that's never made a mistake. I think we're very transparent. When we make a mistake, okay, let's fix it, let's move on, and let's make sure we don't make that same mistake twice. Why am I running? I love the city. This will be my last venture as running. This will be my last campaign, and I would just like to finish some of the things that I've seen start.
Thank you, Ms. Simmons.
I'm running for campaign because I feel that my vision is needed. I say to people all the time, if you don't see what you want in a seat, then you have a responsibility to give a seat. I have a long view plan, and I see the entire city. I feel that there is no part of the city that is unvalued. It doesn't have equity. When we talk about future plans and projections and friends and responsibilities, I take a responsibility to help with the city no matter what. So a future plan for infrastructure, a future plan for COVID. We are in real life. People are dying left and right. And we have to take responsibility for our community. And to sit back and to wait for someone else to take responsibility. I'm 43 years old. Again, I've been in this political life for over 15 years. So I was young when I started. And again, I have a responsibility to the community to roll out infrastructure, help, and great things. So that's why I feel that I'll be a great person for the seat.
Okay, thank you. I think this will be our last question. Nina's going to pose it, starting with you, Ms. Simmons. So you're almost done.
What are your ideas to better engage and communicate with residents on important issues within the community?
Oh, that's great. That's part of my plan. If you go to Felicia Simmons or AsburyPark.com, you see that part of the plan that I have put out, just a small piece. It's that engage in community meetings on a regular basis throughout the city, right? To speak to all points of the city. Again, I go back to the word equity, right? Every person has value and every person has an opinion. I did a clothes giveaway on Saturday, and people came out their way to tell me their views on policing, their views on homelessness, their views on just life, food, groceries, economics, jobs. You have to be in the community to hear those things, and you have to be of the community to hear those things. It is different when somebody tells you what they think. Right? I had a young man come to me and say, "Why did the other side hate me so much?" I said, "They don't hate you, they just don't see you." Right? They don't see that part of life. And we have to understand that sometimes we go through our day to day and we get into our own routines. It's not that we black out the world, it's just that we go through our daily routines. We have to stop and make sure that you see everybody and listen and bring it to them, not just sit back.
Yeah, just repeat the question, please.
What are your ideas to better engage and communicate with residents on important issues within our city?
Okay, I think one we touched on earlier as far as like a joint meeting between the Board of Education, the Housing Authority, the council, at least semi-annually, and then having a city hall meeting at the high school probably because we need the biggest space going where community can come and we can have that dialogue. Also, we have quite a few committees in Asbury Park, and the committees, some of the most important committees, like planning and zoning, are more important than mayor and council at times, and we've kept seats open, hoping more minorities would apply for these seats. And so we're having a tough time for minorities to come forward to apply for some committees. So again, maybe that's something we have to do a better job reaching out on. I mean, we've been into the churches, we've been to all the community events, and we've advertised this, like, please come out, get involved. I guess that's all we got to keep on doing, and just keep on banging the drum and try to get people to come give back to the city because the city's given so much to them. So I think the biggest thing is the three entities coming together and having that one big meeting and go from there.
Okay, thank you. Questioners, you did a great job. Candidates and audience, you gave us great questions. We'll now go to the candidates' closing statements, 1 minute each. I believe we're going to start with Mr. Moore and then Ms. Simmons.
Okay, I'd like to thank the League of Women Voters of Monmouth County, the Asbury Park Complete Streets Coalition, the moderators, Ann, Nina, and Dan, and Blackbird Community Commons for letting us use this great venue. And this is a great venue. Hopefully everybody out there in TV land sees it and books it and gives them some business because great venue, underused, please reach out to them. Just great people. Amanda Fitzpatrick, I'll give her a plug. I'm running for re-election. I said it, I love the city. I think I've done a decent job. Have I been perfect? Absolutely not. I'd like to be the person who's been perfect. I think we've been responsive to criticism, have changed some things when it's needed to be changed. We'll continue to do that. And I promise just to try and do my best and listen to everybody. I'm probably the only mayor that puts their home phone number on the business card. And I encourage people to call me, to talk to me. A lot of people think mayor and council knows everything going on in the city. Sometimes we're the last ones to hear. So please feel free to reach out. John Moore, thank you.
Okay, thank you. And Ms. Simmons.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. Great questions. I always enjoy being able to come in front of everybody and speak. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for everybody who is supporting me. Thank you for everybody who's coming out to pay attention to this midterm election. Because it's important. We are in a real time. We are not in a time where we can sit back. COVID in these last few years have showed you that we cannot afford to go back into a shell. We have to be aggressive with our plans to go forward. I feel that I am the person to go forward with that plan. I have connections throughout the state with friends that will bring back a select programming for here and infrastructure and pipe us into a place in which we need to be. I enjoy the people of this community. I am the people of this community. And I look forward to serving you hopefully in the future. So again, I can be long-winded, but again, thank you everybody, and have a wonderful night and a safe trip home.
Okay, thank you. Now's the time to give the candidates a round of applause. Everybody else behind the scenes. So thank you all. Polly has a quick announcement.
Just a quick announcement, and thank you again. We've all thanked one another, I think enough, but again, thank you all for being here. Can I just have a show of hands? How many saw email, and that's how you got here? Not so many? Social media, mostly? No, how? Word of mouth?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, okay, so someone saw something and so told somebody. I just want to make sure that you all stay tuned on Asbury Park Reporter Coalition Facebook if you're on social media and Instagram. That's where I start out blasting these events. And we very likely will have another forum. I just want to make sure that you all know and that you tell two friends and that person tells two friends and we have an even greater turnout. I don't know if we'll fit in this room, if we get lots more people, but thank you, Blackbird Community Commons, for hosting this one. Please stay tuned. And also, if anyone has any questions, you can email Asbury Park Complete Streets at gmail.com, apcompletestreets@gmail.com. So have a great evening and thank you all again.
I want to, before you all run off, I want to have the last word, I'm sorry. Just a few words about voting. I know you're here, so you're voters, but there's still a week for anybody who isn't a voter to get registered. The deadline is October 18th. Remind you, there are 3 ways to vote this year. You can vote by mail. There is a drop box, that's the easiest way. There's a drop box at City Hall, I believe, outside. Plus you can use, there are 35 drop boxes throughout the county. You can use any one that's convenient for you. You can of course put it in the mail or deliver it directly to the election office. You can vote in person early. That starts on October 29th. The Saturday runs through November 6th, the Sunday. It's 10 to 6 on Sundays, 10 to 8 every other day. And there are 10 locations around Monmouth County. You can go to any one that's convenient for you, maybe one near where you work or wherever. Maybe the closest one to Asbury is in Neptune, the Neptune Senior Center. And of course you can vote on Election Day, and that's Tuesday, November 8th, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. You'll be getting sample ballots mailed out probably next week. So be a voter, bring a friend, bring lots of friends, all right? And you have some great candidates here for mayor. I'm sorry we didn't get to hear everybody tonight, but as
We
well
may
as
have another.
there may be another
opportunity to do so.
chance.
So please stay tuned, talk to one another, and if you have any questions, find me, apcomplete streets.org.
All right.